Assalamu alaikum. My name is Khudeja. I'm one of the counsellor psychotherapists at MWN. So I was decided to make a little video on how we take care of our well-being in a holistic way. So even when we think about how we look after ourselves spiritually, psychologically and physically. And I always think that these go hand in hand. So when working with my clients, we generally go through this. So spiritually, it's so important to recognize that everything first and foremost always falls under the umbrella of Islam. So our deen, our faith, our prayer. So even looking at, are we consistent in our 5 daily prayers? What's our recitation of the Quran like? What's our dhikr, adhkar and so forth. So even looking at how we get this right and ultimately putting our trust in Allah. So really knowing that He has control over all things. And just really ascertaining how that makes us feel and how we introduce that in everything. And then psychologically, we look at how generally our mind is wired to think negatively. So we're constantly it's such an easy an option to go to. So generally when we think about something, we might have some negative thoughts about how this might come out or how we may experience it, but looking at how we acknowledge that they're there first. So the first and foremost important thing is to know that this is an intrusive thought. What is the fact on this? How can I negate this? Is there any reason why I should be thinking this? And then relating it or changing it to a positive thought. So actually, if a negative can be an option, then surely a positive can be. So kind of how we weigh that and measure that. But also looking at how we train our mind to think more positive. And sometimes that takes a little bit of work. But first and foremost, it's about recognizing, is this an intrusive thought? And actually, do I like it? Do I want it to stay? And often we don't. And then physically, it's what's your action to a certain thing. So often we may hear people saying, maybe just pray or just change your thinking and, things will be better. But also looking at how we have to physically do something. So when Musa alayhi salam was asked to strike his staff, that wasn't difficult for Allah to do, to part the sea, like Allah parted the sea. But there was a physical action for Musa alayhi salam to do that. And then even with Maryam alayhi salam, when she was commanded to shake the date palm tree during the childbirth. But even looking at how, again, these things are not difficult for Allah. Nothing's difficult for Him. But it's about what is our effort, what is our action, what are we doing to help ourselves. So I call this SPP, so spiritual, psychological and physical, and how they just interlink with each other, mashallah, beautifully. So I really hope that's been helpful and that inshallah you can use that. Take good care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.